Hi, I am Shime here. Today in this video we will see how to determine species diversity. Before we go to calculate species diversity, we have to know about these species richness, species evenness, and species diversity terms. What does mean by species richness? This indicates the number of species that live within a community. For example, if two communities have 5 or 10 species each, so species richness will be 5 or 10 for both community. Species evenness, which indicate relative abundance of a given species as compared to other species, and it refers to the proportion of species in the community. So we can express a given species, commonly observed species, or rarely observed species. Species diversity, this considers both species richness and species evenness. So it takes into account not only species, how many species are available in a given community, but also how evenly they are distributed in the community. Okay? For example, if we consider this community 1 and community 2, both have 4 species, but by just observation, community 1 is more diverse than community 2. There are two ways to calculate diversity. One is Shannon Diversity Index, which is the most common used index in ecological study. It compares diversity of community over time or space. And the formula is this one. H indicates the index value. P is the proportion. A, B, C are species. And ln is natural logarithm. Higher H value indicates high diversity and stability. High diverse and stable ecosystem or community is more productive, have more biomass, better able to withstand existing stress, more resistance to alien or invasive species. There are steps to calculate Shannon Diversity Index. One is measure the total number of population, A, of a given site, and the number of each species within the community, either by conducting a survey or by using inventory data. Second step is calculate the proportion of each species by dividing each species SA for the total community, total number of species in a community. Then take the natural logarithm of proportion for each species and multiply it by -1. This is to avoid negativity. Multiply negative ln of the proportion by the proportion itself and sum the values. Take the total of the values. The second way is using Simpson Index. This is the second diversity estimating tool, but less sensitive than Shannon Diversity Index. The formula is this one. Lambda, which is the Greek letter, is equals to ni into ni minus 1 over capital N into capital N minus 1. Small n indicates number of individual species, whereas capital N indicates total or sum of all species. And this is the Simpson Index. To know the diversity, Simpson diversity, we have to subtract the value of this lambda from 1. Let us jump to Excel and see how to calculate species diversity using these formulas. Using Shannon Diversity Index, we do have 7 species in community A and 7 species in community B, and have equal number of species. But which one is more diverse? To do this, we have to calculate the proportion of each species by dividing for the total observation, like this. This divided by the total observation, and we have to freeze this cell to use it for all other species cell, and drag the formula down and apply the same procedure for community B. This is divided by the total and freeze it and drag down the formula to copy for other cells. Now we can calculate the diversity for each species by multiplying the proportion times the antilog of the proportion times -1 to avoid negativity. And we can drag this formula down for other species and apply the same for community B. The proportion this times ln of this proportion times -1 and click enter, hit enter and drag the formula down like this. From this we can observe that the index value for community A is higher than index value for community B, so that community A is more diverse and stable than community B. Let us see how it looks like using Simpson Index. Here we can apply this formula n into n-1. The observation for species 1 is 11 times 11 minus 1, and close the bracket and hit enter and drag the formula down. For community B, the observation for species 1 times observation of species 1 minus 1 divide, then hit enter and drag the formula down. Now here we have to apply this formula, sum of ni into ni minus 1, that is this one, divided by, open the bracket, and n, capital N is this one, and n minus 1, this one, this minus this times this times this minus 1, close the bracket and hit enter. We can apply the same for community B. Sum of ni into ni minus 1 is this one, divided by, open the bracket, this times the observation times observation minus 1, total observation minus 1, close the bracket and hit enter. Look here, the diversity index here is 1 minus this one. Okay? When we subtract the lambda value from 1 minus this, here the same, 1 minus this one, sorry, I have to put equal sign, 1 minus this one. Look here, community A has more value than community B, so community A is more diverse than community B. I think if you get it helpful, like it, and if you are new for the channel, please subscribe, and if you get helpful for others also, please share it. Thank you.